This is a guy who wrote a book, got a publisher, was just about to get it published, but then decided to go to San Diego, buy a boat, and sail to Mexico. And so his book got put on hold. Very cool guy, led a very, very interesting life. He's got a website called Right Place, Right Time, Every Time, and that kind of gives you a sense of who he is. He calls himself a synchronicity coach or a synchronicity guide. He's a marketing, trained in marketing, administration. He's got a postgraduate certificate in what's HR stand for? Human resources, thank you. It would have come to me eventually, but this was quicker. His book finally is getting ready to be launched. It'll be launched next month. And I think he's got a very cool story, and it's all about synchronicity. So what is synchronicity, you might ask? Ask. Why don't we ask Neil Goldhar up? Neil, come on up.
How many of you would like to hear a story of adventure? Okay. How many of you would like to hear a story about magic and mystery? So would I. And how many of you would like to know why I raised my hand? Also, so would I. So I'm going to tell you about a story that starts back in 2006. And in 2006, I went to a psychic. How many of you have been to a psychic? How many of you believe in psychics? Well, those who do, great. Those who don't, I didn't either. But I decided to go. And they told me I was going to be a speaker, an author, and a coach. And I said at the time, there is no way. I was destined for the corporate world. I was going to be the HR king. And that didn't happen. And here at the time, too, I had when I was a kid, I want to take you back a little bit. When I was a kid, I had 4 strikes against me. And I had asthma. I had a low immune system, so I was sick most of the time. I was sick more than I was well. I also had speech problems, so couldn't pronounce R's or S's, and I probably still can't. But and I also had a hernia, so when I was a baby, I couldn't cry for 6 weeks. So I held a lot of pain in, and there was a lot of worth and lack of worth that I dealt with. And it was very frustrating to go through life thinking that your whole world deals around worth, and here you didn't have any, or very little. And I went and wanted to explore things and got my degrees and all that, and it was all about what I discovered was escaping from the world. It wasn't really trying to enter it, it was more avoiding it. And I then saw out other psychics, and they all said the same thing. After that one psychic, I saw about 5 or 6 others, and they all said I was going to be an author, coach, and speaker. And I said, either they're getting together to say, hey, Neil's a guy that will buy from you, so tell him this, or it was real. And well, I'm holding a mic in my hand right now, so something was going on there. So what happened was, after that, I saw a life coach because I had no direction in my life, and I said this one sentence to the life coach, and which was, the ego can be used in a positive way. And at the time, she said, that's huge. You got to write that into a book. And I said, I have no idea how to write a book. How can I write a book? So, and I was dealing with still worth issues. So to even think of writing a book was saying, wow, am I worthy enough to write a book? And I said, okay. So I got to my computer, and information started to flow. And I had visions in my head of books to read, and it existed in the bookstore. And I went on vacations, and more information happened, and then all of a sudden I had this finished book. And I said, okay, now what? So I went to a course and met this best-selling author, and she read my book and said, wow, I love it. You got to publish this through my company. And I said, okay, how do we go about doing that? And she said, well, just leave it to me. I'll take you through the steps. And sure enough, it got published. And after that, I met a girlfriend at the time, and I also met a business partner. And I'll go to the business partner first. And he said, oh, yeah, I can help you. And so he had us buy tons of products and materials. And before I knew it, I was $80,000 in the hole. And I had to declare bankruptcy. And I felt like a huge failure, that everything was going wrong at the time, that I let down society. I didn't know who society was, but I let them down. And at the same time, I was thinking, okay, what's the next logical step? So I moved in with my girlfriend. And we then, 1 year later, went on this sailing adventure that from not knowing anything to saying, hey, let's go buy a boat. And we said, okay, what do we do? And there was a broker who said, well, I could sell you this 45-foot boat. And realized, that's a big boat. So we get on this boat, and we know nothing about this boat. I mean, we went to the toilet, and there was all these buttons, and we would sit there and push a button and look, and nothing happened, and push it again and look, and nothing happened. So we decided to hire a captain. And we went, called up the broker, said, please bring us a captain. The next day, this captain showed us and helped us to figure out the toilet. And then we went to learn with this captain for 6 months. And there was another incident that we had this propane stove. And you're supposed to burn out all the propane with, I guess, a lighter before you completely shut off the propane. Well, we did not do that. And the captain said, okay, there is propane now in the bottom of your boat. What do you do? And we said, well, I don't know. What do we do? And the captain said, you got to now search with a lighter, going to every place in the bottom of the boat and see if it explodes. So we went and opened up every cabinet, every inch of the bottom of the boat, and tested it out with a lighter. And we asked the captain, well, can he do that? And he figured if we were paying him, I mean, I could ask. So, anyways, he said no, and he got off the boat. And we went around the boat, and I'm still here holding the mic, so nothing did happen. But 6 months of being captained by this person, we had to leave for Mexico because we had to save on sales tax. And there's this California tax that if you leave within a certain time, you can save on it. And so we went to Ensenada, and then we kept on going. There was another sailing experience of 160 boats, and we said, hey, that looks cool. Let's go on that. And so we sailed down in Cabo San Lucas. And as time went on, our relationship didn't. And the more we sailed, the more we got into conflicts, and the more the relationship became dysfunctional. And I also felt that I needed to pursue my purpose. How many of you feel sometimes like you want to pursue a purpose, that in life there is a purpose, and it's your calling, and to follow it is so awesome? Okay, yes. So the relationship ended, and I came back to Toronto, and I said, how can I pursue my purpose? And also when I came back, I was 197 pounds, pre-diabetic, high cholesterol. Everything was high except me. And through time, I was able to heal it all. And I work for this company where I created 150 different events over the course of a year. And things started to roll. And I said, wow, I'm inspiring people, but I'm not getting paid. Yes. So I then said, wow, I got to open up a business for myself. And that's when I created teaching people how to be in the right place at the right time. And I came just wanting to inspire that. How many of you, again, feel it's so amazing to inspire people? Great. Yes. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's my drug. That when I inspire someone, it feels so like the best ecstasy in the world, although I've never taken it. And I just then also found, an amazing relationship. And, I'm in a place where I'm not escaping anymore and wanting to escape anymore, but wanting to live in it and wanting to show that I am worthy too. And that to remember my greatness, live my greatness, and project my greatness so that we can all play in this amazing playground. That is my goal today. My name's Neil Goldhar, and thank you for my talk.